I discovered my boyfriend of 3 years is cheating. Tonight is the biggest night of his life. My boyfriend and I had been together for 3 years. We had built a life together, and I genuinely believed that we were in love. We had shared so many moments, and I always thought that we were headed toward a future together. We talked about our dreams, made plans for our future, and I imagined us growing old together. I still love him, but I discovered something that made me realize he doesn't feel the same way. I found out he had been cheating on me. It was a painful revelation that shattered everything I thought I knew about our relationship. I stumbled upon proof of his infidelity through a series of small home movies he had taken. In these videos, I saw him with another girl. I don't know who she is, but from the content of their conversations, it was clear that she had no idea I existed. It was a crushing blow to see them together, laughing and sharing intimate moments while I had been completely unaware of their relationship. The shock of it all was overwhelming, and I felt a mix of rage, sadness, and betrayal. Tonight was supposed to be the biggest night of his life. He was set to receive a prestigious state award at a grand dinner event. The guest list included a mix of important people: his parents, prominent council members, and several other influential figures. This was supposed to be his shining moment, a celebration of his achievements and success. I had been looking forward to this night, proud of him and excited to share in his joy. Ironically, the only reason I discovered his betrayal was that I was putting together a video for him as a surprise. I wanted to create a special compilation of key moments from his life, something heartfelt and sentimental. I thought it would be a lovely gesture, a way to honor him and celebrate all that he had accomplished. I spent hours sorting through old photos and videos, selecting the best ones to include in the montage. I was so focused on making it perfect that I didn't expect to find anything that would upend my world. As I worked on the video, I found myself overwhelmed by a mix of emotions. I was faced with a decision that felt incredibly heavy. I had this sudden, almost unbearable power in the situation. I could either reveal what I knew right then and there, or I could wait until after his big night had passed. I was torn. My heart was aching with a blend of rage, sadness, and betrayal. And yet, a part of me still loved him and wondered if I really wanted to destroy his moment of glory. It was clear to me that our relationship was over. I wasn't the type of person who would accept being cheated on, and there was no way I could move forward with him after what I had discovered. But the question that plagued me was how to handle the situation. I had found numerous cutesy selfies of him and the other girl, photos that seemed so innocent on the surface but carried a deeper significance. There was nothing explicit, but the intimacy of the photos was evident. Each picture felt like a stab to my heart, a reminder of his betrayal. I was caught between two conflicting desires: the urge to take a stand and the impulse to take the high road. I thought about sneaking one of these photos into the snap reel I had created for him. To anyone else, it would have looked like just another picture of him with a friend, but for him and me, it would have been a silent declaration of what I knew. It was a way to let him know that I was aware of his betrayal without saying a word. Ultimately, I decided to go with the vengeful path. I inserted a few of the photos into the video, making sure they looked like harmless snapshots. I spoke kindly of him at the podium, praising his achievements and celebrating his success. But once my turn was over, I walked out of the event. I drove home feeling a strange sense of calm and control, knowing that I had made a choice and stuck to it. It was a surreal feeling, knowing that I had taken action and that there was no turning back. About 20 minutes after I got home, the texts started flooding in. He was frantic, asking where I had gone, what I knew, where I had found the photos, and if there was more to come. I decided to respond with a simple, direct message. I texted him, "I know you've been with her, but there are no more photos." I left it at that, not giving him any more information or a chance to make excuses. It was a concise way of letting him know that I was aware of his betrayal and that there was nothing more to uncover. He didn't come home that night. He didn't come home the next night either. It was a strange and unsettling silence that followed, but I felt a certain relief in the absence of his presence. The house felt empty, but it was a welcome emptiness, a space where I could start to heal and process what had happened. The day after, he called me and asked if we could meet and talk at a public location. I agreed to meet him at a Starbucks. I arrived early and sat there, waiting for him to show up. He arrived a few minutes late and took a seat across from me. There was an awkward tension in the air as we sat across from each other, the weight of our conversation looming over us. He immediately started with excuses. He told me it was something that just happened, and that he regretted it deeply. He insisted that the other girl meant nothing to him and that she only reminded him of a girl he had a crush on in high school. He went on about how he was powerless against his teenage self's fantasies. It was a desperate attempt to justify his actions, but it only made me feel more resolved in my decision. I didn't interrupt him. I let him speak, letting him get it all off his chest. When he finished, looking at me with a mixture of hope and fear, I simply asked him, "So where did you stay the past few nights?" He hesitated before admitting that he had stayed at her house. I then asked him what they had done together, but he couldn't answer. At that point, there was no doubt in my mind that I was leaving him. His apologies and promises to change fell on deaf ears. The damage had been done, and there was no way to undo it. I told him that I didn't want him to have to change himself for me. If who he was naturally was someone who cheated on his girlfriend, then that's not someone I wanted to be with. I made it clear that his betrayal had been the final straw. I needed to move on and find someone who valued and respected me. He then mentioned that he had been thinking of proposing to me. I could only respond with a stark, simple truth. Good thing I found out before. It was a bitter realization that his plans for our future had been built on a foundation of lies. A few weeks later, he moved out, and I started to focus on myself. We cut off all contact, and when people asked me about him, I simply told them, he left me for a girl who looked like his high school crush. It was a succinct way to explain the situation without delving into the painful details. And that was it. Our relationship was over. We would never get back together. I don't regret how I handled things. In the end, I realized that there's no need to always take the high road. Sometimes, standing up for yourself and making a choice that feels right for you is the most important thing. It was a difficult lesson to learn, but it helped me grow stronger and more resilient. The story of discovering my boyfriend's infidelity unfolds as a journey of emotional upheaval and self-discovery. We had been together for 3 years, building what I believed was a loving and committed relationship. We shared dreams, made plans for the future, and I envisioned growing old with him. However, this illusion shattered when I stumbled upon evidence of his cheating while innocently preparing a surprise video for him. The shock and devastation were profound as I uncovered intimate moments between him and another woman, moments that revealed a parallel life I had been completely unaware of. This discovery came just before his prestigious awards ceremony, a night I had eagerly anticipated sharing with him, celebrating his achievements with pride. Ironically, it was during my efforts to create a sentimental gift that I unearthed the painful truth. Faced with this betrayal, I confronted a tumultuous mix of emotions: anger, sadness, and a profound sense of betrayal. I wrestled with a difficult decision: whether to confront him immediately and disrupt his moment of glory or to wait and process my emotions. Despite my love for him, the breach of trust was irreparable, and I knew deep down that our relationship had reached its end. Choosing to take a stand, I subtly inserted evidence of his infidelity into the video montage, a silent yet impactful declaration of my knowledge. I spoke graciously of him at the event, masking my inner turmoil, but left immediately afterward, choosing to confront him later in a public place. The ensuing conversation was tense as he offered excuses and apologies, attempting to justify his actions, but I remained resolute in my decision to end things. In the aftermath, I faced a period of healing and self-reflection. His absence brought both emptiness and relief, signaling a new chapter of personal growth and resilience. Despite his attempts to reconcile, I stood firm in prioritizing my own worth and integrity, refusing to accept a future built on deceit. Our parting was definitive, marking the end of a chapter in my life that taught me the importance of self-respect, honesty, and the courage to prioritize my own well-being. This experience taught me a valuable lesson: that sometimes, choosing to confront betrayal and assert one's self-worth is the bravest and most empowering choice one can make. It reaffirmed my belief in the resilience of the human spirit and the necessity of honest communication in any relationship. Moving forward, I carry with me the strength gained from this ordeal, knowing that I am capable of navigating life's challenges with grace and dignity. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more interesting stories and perspectives, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Don't miss out on more interesting videos. Click the video on your screen to check out my previous interesting content. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. See you in the next video.